Hi, my name is Wade Laszlo, and it's time for another long overdue edition of Corrections News and Views. In keeping with the previous tradition, today's Corrections News and Views is brought to you by Sierra Nevada Ruthless Ale. Very good stuff. All right, let's get down to it. One of the things that's coming up now is the Prison Rape Elimination Act, and the background checks that are going to be conducted in relation to that law. On Friday, January 10th, we met with the Sheriff's Administration to discuss the implementation of the PREA background checks on MNPEA members. This is a new condition of employment, and as such, it should be negotiated, and there should either be contract language or a memorandum of understanding that says what can and can't be done as part of these investigations. We made it clear that we're going to cooperate, but we're concerned about the Sheriff's Office casting a wide net. Our goal is to make sure the laws apply to our members as written, no less and certainly no more. After all, PREA backgrounds are available to future employers. We went over some of the questions the Sheriff's Office wanted to ask. There were a couple we believed were not required by PREA. We made recommendations to the administration about that. We have concerns over any unreported minor infractions that may be found during a background investigation. The purpose of PREA is to make sure you aren't a sex offender working in corrections, and if you are a sex offender, you should not be working in corrections. The Sheriff's Administration says if found, minor infractions will be turned over to Internal Affairs. We view this kind of like a search warrant. They're supposed to be looking for something specific, and we have concerns about what might happen with some of that. It's not supposed to be a catch-all. There's some concern over us being re-fingerprinted. Our lawyer made it clear that the Sheriff's Office already has our fingerprints. The PREA does not require fingerprints. An interesting side note is that during contract negotiations constantly, we are told that there are 3 corrections groups in Hennepin County: the workhouse, the juvenile center, and the detention deputies at the jail. We're always told that we're exactly the same, that's why our pay is always kept in lockstep and everything else. Well, guess what? Community Corrections is not doing fingerprints as part of PREA. So that would mean the juvenile center and the workhouse COs are not being fingerprinted. The Sheriff's Office wants to fingerprint us. We should not be held to a different standard. We are county employees. If the background doesn't require it, we do not believe that we should have to submit to that. I'll move on to the next subject, which is our pension. The corrections pension, which was established in, I believe, 1999. As I reported on my blog, Detention Home, Teamsters Local 320 said they are making it a priority to add non-essentials to our pension. The bill is HF number 884 and Senate file 998. If passed, this will add 1,973 non-essentials to our pension. Consider, the correctional pension was passed because we have the highest injury rate of any public safety job classes. Higher injury rates than police and fire. Our pension requires 95% inmate contact for a job class to be eligible. If we can to allow non-essentials with virtually non-existent inmate contact and non-existent assaults from inmates, we will be in danger of being dumped back into the correctional plan. The coordinated plan. Consider this, probation officers make up to $90,000 a year. This means their payout from our pension will be greater than the corrections officers that the pension was created for. Consider this. If passed, we may never get an increase in our pension benefit because higher payouts will be going to higher paid non-essentials. And also, too, as we all know, the coordinated plan is in trouble. If some of their members get dumped into ours, we don't have the actuarial numbers yet, but it's possible we could end up paying 2% more into our pension. That means we would be taking a 2% pay cut to add non-essentials to our pension. The next subject I'd like to move on to is the sick time arbitration. On December 17th, the Minnesota Public Employees Association in Hennepin County had an arbitration with retired Hennepin County Judge Harry Crump as the arbitrator. and we're waiting to see what happens. The briefs were in on January 17th. I'm guessing we'll know sometime in February. The result of that, as you remember, the county implemented a policy that said if you use more than 96 hours of sick time a year, you're abusing your sick time. That is not in the contract. The union's position is the contract states what sick time can be used for, not how much you can use, as long as it's contractual use of sick time. And they made the policy, if you remember, in June of 2011, and went retroactive a year instead of disciplining people and putting them on monitored sick leave. The contract update, we have mediation scheduled for February the 18th. Our big thing that we're shooting for is the market adjustment. We want a $3 an hour market adjustment. Hennepin County, which is the largest, biggest, busiest jail in Minnesota, is the lowest paid detention deputies in the 7-county metro area. Ramsey County, which is about half the size of ours, they start at $22 an hour. They top out at $34 an hour, but at 5 years they're at $31 an hour. We start at 17, and at 8 years, if there aren't 6 years of wage freezes, we top out at 27. Clearly, we're not going to be able to maintain and attract employees when you're the lowest paid in the metro area. And also this, the county board gave Sheriff Stanek another $2,000 raise that took effect this past December 29th. When he took office 6 years ago, his salary was $145,000 a year. Now it is $157,000 a year. That means Sheriff Stanek's salary went up $12,000 in 6 years, during which time, most of that time, our salaries have been stagnant. This clearly shows an attitude in the county. They're willing to pay their CEOs lots of money at the top, but they don't seem to be doing much for the employees at the bottom who are doing the grunt work. And I'd like to end this with an officer safety issue. As many of you probably saw the special order that went out, a list was found of detention deputies' names, and a couple of shanks were passed out to another inmate. Point values were assigned to certain deputies' names if they were assaulted with those shanks. An email should have gone out to you from the administration letting you know if you were on that list. Please exercise officer safety. You never know at any time when your lives and your safety could be in danger. And also remember this, if there's a list with deputy names, thanks to our good friends at AFSCME, our addresses and phone numbers are already out there. So watch your back, watch your families, be vigilant during this time. Once again, I'm Wade Laszlo, and this has been another edition of Corrections News and Views.